I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is
Thrice. Come
Thrice.
all ye weary. Oh no, it's you weary.
Weary?
No, it's you. I went King James on it.
Okay.
Come all ye weary. This is for AO. If you are wondering how in the world did this AO fella get a song reaction, there's a couple different ways to do it. One way is Vin's favorite, which is you jump on Patreon for $1 a month, or there's a bunch of different tiers, but the smallest one is $1 a month, and you can join an alliance. Basically, the alliances get together. They get together on Discord, and they vote. They're also sometimes on Facebook, depending, but they vote on what songs are going to be upcoming in our list. Which we'll be doing another one of those probably within the next 2 days. You should see one of those alliance picks coming out. Another way, that's where you're going to work with a crew, a group. If you are like me and you don't want to work with a crew and you just want to get your song straight onto the list and you got something exciting you want to share with the village, that's another way of doing it, is to jump on the $125 tier and you can get your song reacted to. That's what AO did. After you do that with us 3 times, it like jumps down to the $75 price instead of $125. So that's how Thrice came into our existence. Would you like to announce Middle America?
For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori. Where, look, if your day is going too well and you like me too much and you want to do something to balance that out, Middle America is where you need to be. We actually got a shout out from some dude in Germany over Twitter a couple days ago for the Middle America channel. So shout out to Deutschland. Okay, so let's do it. This is Thrice, Come You Weary, and let's do it.
Come all you weary, your heavy loads. Lay down your burdens, find rest for your souls. 'Cause my yoke is easy, my burden is kind. I'll take yours upon me, you can take mine. Rest for your soul.
Jeez, I like that. You know what? This song to me, first of all, I'm always a fan of the acoustic. But this song to me was like Jesus. You know, like when it says like you've been treated bad in restaurants and you've been kicked out of churches and stuff like that. Like,
Well, yeah, it says I've got a few loaves. I got a couple loaves sitting on my feet.
So I felt like it was just like,
So that's obviously Jesus for sure.
yeah. But I also think that it was like, you know, there was this crew of people that was working with a lot of different types of people that had basically been rejected by church and society and stuff like that. And like the way that guy led that thing, it was very much like that. Like, just come on in, you know what I mean? Like, it just had that kind of simple sort of feel to it. But obviously that guy didn't get that from his own head. He got that from Jesus. So
Right.
I just like the find rest for your souls part, because I think that the older that we get, the more, and I've said this before, the more you realize how valuable peace is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you think, like you talk to the kids, what's the most important thing? One of them might say money, one of them might say, this is really cute though. So we were talking about which places we would move to. One of them was like, we should move to Portland. Portland needs to be the place, that's the place to be, you know what I mean? And then the other one was like, no, I will stay in this apartment and I will not go anywhere if we move to Portland.
Who was that, Johan?
I said, well, go ahead, stay here.
I knew it.
Because obviously he's not going to stay here. You know why he doesn't want to move to Portland?
No.
He does not want to live in the same city that supports Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, but the whole damn state supports Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, you actually have it in your city.
Oh.
So he's like, they kill babies. I'm not.
He's out.
He's so
protesting the entire damn city.
Yeah, but he's very he has like codes that are like some of his code. Sometimes I'm like, can you just have a code about something like this?
Yeah.
But then there's other things that like he's just 11 years old and he's like, I don't want. And nobody puts that in his head. Like, I would never.
No, I didn't.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Planned Parenthood either, obviously. But I would never say I'm not going to move to Portland because of them. But anyway, that's.
Shut it. I knew that was Johan.
It had to be.
It had to be Johan.
Nobody else would say something like that.
Yeah. What?
They'll stay right here in this apartment. I pictured it's completely empty and he's like in protest, but I didn't realize why.
Speaking of Planned Parenthood, we had a little abortion debate on the Middle America page, facebook.com/America Middle.
Is it the discussion or is there like a messaging?
It was a debate.
Yeah, it was the video debate.
It's a video debate, so you guys can watch that at facebook.com/America Middle for your enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this song definitely was exactly what I expected it to be. Like, once I saw the title and I saw the band, I was like, okay, I know exactly where this is going. But like, that's an interesting line, come all you weary who move through the earth.
Yeah, why?
Well, because when God asked the devil, what have you been up to? And he's like, I'm just going to and fro about the earth. So it's like, that line is pretty subtle, because it's like, basically followers of Satan. Like, he's saying, like, hey, you tired of following the devil? Come over here, we have cookies. Or we have, we got a couple loaves of bread.
Yep.
But it's...
I guess it's a good catch.
It's one of those things where, if you... Of course, I could just be reading into it. It might just be he wanted to rhyme church. You know what I mean? Earth and church.
Earth and church don't really rhyme. You have to kind of work them.
Well,
to
you
rhyme.
accent it.
Yeah, but that means...
Yeah, I come from hip-hop.
Yeah, but that means it wasn't about just making a rhyme. It was, you wanted to put it there, so you did.
Right. Further up and further in, that's a C.S. Lewis...
In the book?
Yeah, it's a Narnia thing. Further up and further in. I think that was like the last battle or whatever. And what's his face? Sproul Jr.?
Yeah.
He used to have this thing where he was breaking down all the C.S. Lewis books. It was like a 15-hour thing, and it was called Further Up and Further In. So that's got to be a C.S. Lewis type of thing. You know, it's interesting. Come all you weary, you cripples, you lame. I always find it really interesting. I've talked about this before. I always find it really interesting when people go, "Your religion is a crutch." And I'm like, and then, you know, some Christians get offended by that. They get upset. They go, "No, it's not a crutch." It's like, what do you mean? Of course it's a crutch. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, you know, especially after being in the metal community this deep as we're in it, everybody's got broken legs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you need crutches if you have a broken leg. Mm-hmm. You know, can you imagine somebody come out of the hospital in like a wheelchair or crutches, and somebody's like, "Oh, you're just using that wheelchair as a crutch." Yeah, dummy. We are. Like, hello, everybody's. You're not gonna get out of this thing alive, man.
Well, and I think that sometimes people don't realize that there's a necessity for the crutch. Like, they may be in pain and they don't know where. Like, where is it? What's coming? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know what to do, and not realizing that we're all in need of crutches. You know, it's important to know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, do you believe that you're self-sufficient? Like, how's that been working out for you? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I think it's kind of that human sort of delusion that, you know, like, we can handle everything by ourselves. Like, I don't care what you say, you need your friends, or you need your music, or drugs, or sex, or whatever it is. People are going to find ways to get through this life.
Yep.
And so I never really understood like the like discomfort for Christians to say that that there is a sort of a crushy element to their religion.
But that's because, like, I mean, I'm just gonna speak for myself. When people used to say that to me, I felt uncomfortable because I wasn't realizing that we all need that, and that what's wrong with having, like, go a step further, what's wrong with the crutch? Like, why? But people think, they've got this illusion that they're self-sustaining and self-sufficient when they're not. Like, everybody has something that gets them through the day, the week, the year. And especially, again, it's another one of those things that as you age and as you grow and you experience different things, the more you realize you're in need of, you might need therapy, you know?
Yeah.
You might need medication, you might need a vacation, you might need, you know, a good friend, someone to listen to you. And sometimes I think that people, I think that there's this deep need that's inside of us to be heard and to be understood. And I think that God places that need inside of us because the answer to that is prayer. Like, prayer is not about, let me ask and get everything that I want. He's not a sugar daddy in the sky. He's not Santa Claus. He's God. And part of it is that communication. And we were made for that relationship with him. So he places that in us. And then I think that a lot of times we get it twisted because prayer maybe seems like a little bit weird. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just like talk to the air, talk to the wall? Like, what? And it's just, you know, it's just an understanding that you're talking to the one that created you, and you just talk about everything and anything that comes into your head. It doesn't even matter. So, but I think that a lot of times sometimes we don't even realize that we need to pray. And so, you know, I think, like, sometimes I'll think to myself, oh, I wish that I had, you know, a female friend that I could just talk to, specifically one that is in a lot of the similar situations that I'm in. But our lifestyle is so unique that it's like, this woman doesn't exist. So, I'll speak to the one of wisdom in the Proverbs then.
Yeah, you're in a pretty unique situation for sure.
It's completely unique, which it'll be cool in my future because I think I'm going to be able to help a lot of other women because I'll be like, well, yeah, I was kind of in a situation like that. Plus a bunch of other things at the same time, but...
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think like the concept that, especially here, it says, you know, we've got a long way to go, but we'll walk as friends. I think we've got a long way to go, but we'll travel as friends. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's I'll help you along. You can lay down your canes. That's a very interesting line because we just talked about crutches, and like here's the thing. Everybody has crutches. The issue is there are some good crutches and some bad crutches. And, you know, if you're traveling down a hill with some bad crutches, you are screwed. Mm-hmm. And I just think, and that's why it's like, especially especially when we were down there in that downtown area and the opioid, abuse and all that.
Yeah.
Those were bad crutches. And, the question is never, are you going to have a crutch? The question is, are you going to have a reliable one? That's the question. Because, as I said, nobody's going to get through 5 years on this planet without some pain, suffering, heartache, discomfort, whatever you want to call it. And so it's like the question is a crutch reliable, and can you put the full weight of your being on that crutch, and will it hold you up? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know about y'all, I've just found, when you try to put your full weight on a person or a substance or a whatever, it never ever works ever to sustain you.
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing that people do is they do it with a relationship, and they think that person should be able to hold the full weight of their soul and carry them down the mountain, not realizing that they too have broken legs. And so those crutches collapse, and then what happens is when the person can't carry you, get mad at them for not carrying you, which has kind of been a strange, phenomenon in my life, where people expect me to carry them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. So,
all different types of people, too.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation.
Different types of relationships, because there's so many different types of relationships that you can have in your life.
Yeah, you cannot place the full weight of your soul on another person. You're not even able to carry it for long. And that's when you get these strange sort of codependent relationships or weird parent-child relationships. I'm not even talking about anything sexual. I just mean just the sort of situation where the child is now a grown man or a grown woman, and they're still kind of relating the exact same way to their parent when they lived with them. Mm-hmm. Because the parent has been such a...
Yeah.
And the big thing about being a parent is your job is to work yourself to obsolescence. Mm-hmm. So your job is to, obviously when the kid's a baby and all the rest of it, he obviously has to lean on you and you have to carry him. But your job is to make it so that they're not in that mm-hmm. situation. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of parents who either don't know how to do that or don't want to do that. We have our little tizzies with Orion because, if I just left him to you, you turn this kid into...
He's 15 months.
And he's a terrorist, and a lot of it just has to do with his own disposition. He is who he is.
If you say no to him, he's going to find anything around him to throw across the room.
He has a massive...
Or he'll hit somebody, or he'll bite somebody. He does.
The biting thing is new. Is very interesting.
He gets all angry.
He has a massive ego. Dorian wasn't like that when he was a baby. Dorian was, and the thing is, obviously as a baby, well, she's a girl, but obviously as a baby, it looks very cute.
Yeah, when they're all angry. It's like Jack on The Incredibles.
Yeah, it's come on, bro. That's the biggest problem in your life. Just you wait. But at the same time, it's that's him. You're kind of seeing who he is as a person. I look at it okay, this dude is not gonna. He's a leader. He's not gonna go along with the crowd. He's gonna. And you don't have to break him of it. You just have to learn to channel it. You got to learn to channel that type of energy so that he can. Because that's who he is. That's how God made him. And you gotta figure out how to. But anyway. So that's an example where it's our job to help him through that so that he's no longer dependent on us to manage his emotion. He'll be able to manage himself. And as long as I'm around, I've got hope for that. But good night. We take him on walks. He just takes everything and chucks it out of the stroller. And Sori she just puts it back. Never says anything to him. Never, just. Unbelievable.
Not never. I do sometimes.
Yeah, when I tell you. You turn this kid into a terrorist. Where do you get the song?
When I tell you.
True.
Here they come. Here they come.
Oh, what the...
Yeah, when I tell her to.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I think that this is probably an irrational number for this song. It's a 10 for me. Because it was extremely meaningful, and this is a good, for my personal spirituality, this is a good...
It's a solid 9 for me. Solid 9 for me. Good song. Good song.
Thank you, Ao.
Shout out to the big homie Ao. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
We'll travel as friends. Lights growing bright further up, further. Come on, you weary. Come gather round near me, find rest for your soul. Rest for your soul. Come on, you weary. Come gather round near me. Come on, you weary. Come gather round near me. Find rest for your soul. Rest for your soul. Rest for your Come on, you weary, your heavy load.